is an elder at Truth Church in Cleveland, Texas. He's a certified. I told y'all, what are we? Trained, certified resource license. He is a certified mental health coach through the American Association of Christian Counselors. He has a heart to see people, especially men, okay? Because y'all need it too, right? Set free and become the people God has created them to be. He is also the founder of There Is Life Ministries, which is designed to help mentor people into becoming their best in life that they can be. Jeff also founded From Boys to Men, a mentorship program for young men, and lives by the motto, if you can reach one, you can teach one. Welcome up, Mr. Jeff Allen.
I am going to ask this one question. Who's that man you're talking about? Or either you can say, Mama, there go that man. I'm Jeff Allen. And it is a pleasure to be able to stand before people, to be able to help people. Ah, man. Mentally free. Mentally free. Somebody tell me what mentally free is before I get started. Somebody tell me what mentally, I'm not talking to the pharmacist. No, ma'am. Can somebody tell me what it is to be mentally free? Nobody want to answer? I guess I have to go to the
It means your mind clear, your thoughts clear, hope.
But yes, ma'am.
I'll take it as peace in any situation.
When we do that old school teacher number, say that again.
Being at peace in any situation, even when it's chaotic, finding that peace to kind of push through it. Right. To be kind of pregnancy to make the decision you need to, or if you have to break down and come back.
So how do you get through the chaos?
Breathe first.
Breathe first. Okay, well, good. Now I'm going to talk about the opposite of that. Because how do we become captive? By what we're dealing with and not being set free. I'm going to use a story from the Bible, and I'm going to talk about Mephiboshet. But what I want to talk to you about is dropped, lamed, hidden, and covered. Those are the 4 issues that he had to deal with. But now watch this. I want to give you a backdrop of the story of Mephiboshet, and I'm going to ask some questions, so please go along with me. If you don't know the answer, just don't throw the tomatoes at me. I'm happy. Now, the backdrop, first of all, does anybody know what the name Mephiboshet means? Watch this. Mephiboshet means dispeller of shame. And a dispeller means to break up, drive away, or cause to disappear. What happened with Mephiboshet? Well, let me give you a backdrop of the story. At the age of 5, Mephibosheth's grandfather, King Saul, and his father, Jonathan, was killed in battle. Does anybody know this story at all in the Bible? There was a nurse that picked up Mephibosheth, and she ran with him, and she dropped him. And he became lame. Now, here's my question. What caused Mephibosheth to have that issue? Being dropped? Do y'all think that's what started his issue? Because I'm dealing with men's mental health. Now, here's the interesting thing about men's mental health. It wasn't because he was dropped. If you look at Mephibosheth and you look at the story, it was because he became fatherless. Most men's issues start when they are fatherless. His father died. That's when his problem started. Why? Because the nurse picked him up to try to run with him to protect him. And to protect him, she dropped him. Now watch this, and I'm going by how God is talking to me. Women, you can't keep walking around here trying to carry some of these men. You've got to let them stand on their own. But here's the problem with that. You got to be their safe place so they can stand. You cannot be the gossiper that when your husband comes to you about a situation, all your girlfriends know about it. And here's the real interesting part about that. Especially your single girlfriends that have nobody trying to tell you how to deal with your husband. You need to find wise counsel on how to deal with your husband. Stop going to people that ain't got nobody trying to tell you how to deal with the issues. But now let me get into the story of Mephiboshet and how we're going to deal with this. For men, one of the most important things that we need to understand about Mephiboshet is his issues did not start in adulthood. And I'm telling you, dealing with men's mental health, men, most of your issues did not start as an adult. They started somewhere down the line in your childhood. And it's not only because they were absent fathers, because some of y'all had fathers in the household, but they never spent quality time with you. They never took you out to teach you anything. That makes a difference in men's mental health. Because what happens is when we get to this place in men's mental health, what takes place is we get dropped by society. Society has set a high standard for men of what they expect a man to be. And let me tell you some of the things that society don't want you to be. Society don't want you to be a silent man because a silent man is classified as a weak man. I'm sorry, society wants you to be a quiet man because you're classified as a weak man. Being quiet, society don't want you to be an emotional man. You show your emotions. Well, I'm not going to use the term, but you know what they say. Some of y'all, they think you're not straight. When you become emotional, when you show emotions, you belong to that alphabet group. And that's real. That's how they see men. When you show emotions, why? Because men are taught to be strong. And in society, they love a strong man. Why? Because you're supposed to be the bully type people. You're the ones that they'll look at, they'll talk to, but that quiet guy, they don't want to be around him. Because he's not showing anything. They want you to be that type of guy. But that's not how you're supposed to be. Because God didn't create us like that. He said he created us in his likeness and his image. And I know there's times when God gets rough and loud with us, but we can't walk around rough and loud all the time. We have to know how to be quiet. We have to know how to be still. And that's what society don't like about men. They don't like you being that quiet person. They don't. You're weak. And with that, right there, those things right there about being quiet men, do you ever really realize the quietest men are the ones you really don't want to mess with? Because them brothers come up with a strength from nowhere. But you know a lot of where that strength comes up from? Pent up frustration. They're tired of being messed with. They're tired of being picked on. But how does that deal with mental health? Man, when you sit down there and you go through all that, guess what you do? You put yourself in a place called Lodabar, a barren place. You put yourself in a place called Lodabar. You go to a barren place, a place that has nothing. You put yourself in isolation. Why do you think some men have man caves in their house?
Why?
Because woman, you know you can't go in there because that's his place. And it's sad when you isolate yourself from your family and lock yourself up in your man cave and they can't come in there. But now let me help you with something before I go on. The reason why sometimes men lock themselves up in their man caves after being out in the world, fighting the world day in and day out, going to work, I don't want to come home and fight with you. Be his peace when he comes home so he won't go into that place of isolation. Because that place of isolation, this is what takes place when a man gets isolated. Anxiety kicks in, stress kicks in, depression kicks in. And guess what ends up happening last? What? They become suicidal. Because why? I'm dealing with all this weight and nobody to release it to. Can you imagine when your husband come home, knowing his job, then all of a sudden, he's been fighting with the weight of the world. All of your issues that you've been dealing with, you lay across his shoulder. Your son comes lays across your shoulder on top of his shoulders. Your daughter comes lays across her brother's shoulders, and every bit of the weight is on him. And nobody's giving him no relief. Men need relief in order to not deal with the struggles and the pressures of this world. So they go to that place of isolation. I want to be by myself. Why are they in that place of isolation? Because they feel they can handle it by themselves. But the truth of the matter is, can we be vulnerable? Can you let me let my hair down and let me talk to you about what I'm dealing with, and you be my safe place that I can come to? Men need safe places. Men need a safe place. A lot of men walk around with the weight of the world on their shoulder because they're trying to prove a point that they can handle everything. Everything is not meant for you to handle. It's not. You see why we have a lot of broken homes? First of all, the system was set up to break up homes. And ladies, when that brother comes home and you aggravating him and you throwing everything at him because you asked him to fix a leak in the sink and he didn't have a chance to do it because he's got a 12-hour shift he's got to work, and he's working 4 or 5 days a week or 6 days a week, give him some mercy, give him some grace. That's what helps deal with these situations. But instead of coming at him, yelling at him, learn to talk to him. You want to see peace in your home, talk to the man. Why? Because again, when you drop me and the way society has dropped men, a lot of men have become lame. They don't know how to stand on their own 2 feet. Because why? They're so used to everybody nagging, everybody biting on them, everybody pulling on them. And it messes with their mentality. It stresses their brain to where they're trying to figure everything out when there's really nothing that they need to figure out. It's just stuff y'all need to talk about. And even if you're not married, you need to find your group of people that you can trust. And I'm not talking about 40, 50 people that know you, because some people don't want to help you. They want to just know your business so they can talk about you. So you need people that you can sit down and talk with that's going to help you. And that's what men's mental health is for me. My goal is to help as many men as possible. Why? Because we're captive. And because we're held captive in the things that we're going through, we hold our houses captive. Have you ever been a hostage in your own house? Can I be real with you? Okay, when I do this now, I'm gonna be real with you. Years ago, I was married. Married a lady with 3 children. Jesus help me, because I sure had to take him to help me. And I worked for Texas Department of Criminal Justice. And if you ever know what it's like to work in a prison system, it ain't fun. And I had a simple request. Every night before you go to sleep, call me just to let me hear your voice, to let me know that it's okay. And I want to hear you check on me to see if I'm okay. Now, I'm a lieutenant, so I'm in charge of the ship. So you can't tell me I can't get on the phone and talk to nobody. There's only two times I can't talk to you: if I'm gonna use of force, or if I'm running court, because we did run mine in court in the prison system. Speak to me. And if you can't speak to me, what is that telling me? I used to get fussed at because things I dealt with in the prison, I go home and I put on Madden NFL and play for an hour and a half. Because there's things I dealt with that I couldn't talk to you about. We need grace sometimes. Don't fuss because I need to get quiet. Because what you really do is when you're fussing at me, you take me to a place of isolation. But what does that have to do with mental health? Do you know when you drain me, it not just drains my energy, it drains my strength to want to be around you, and it causes me to go to lower bar. It causes me to go to a place of nothing. I want to be by myself. I want to be there, and I want to try to fix this my way. But believe it or not, you can't fix this your way in isolation. You need people that's a support system that's going to help you get through this. And you don't have to stay in the state that you're in because of what you're going through. Why am I talking like this? Because men, you've been called to be leaders, and your house need to be led. And they can't be led by a man that's captive in his mind. No strength comes from that. No peace comes from that. And the enemy wants that because why? He's after your family and your home anyway. So why are we helping the enemy out by being in isolation? I mentioned suicide, but let me just do a reminder note real quick. Women attempt more suicide than men, but men are more successful. Does anybody know why?
They do it in a more extreme.
Boom. Men do it in a more extreme way. When a man goes to commit suicide, he means, yes, women commit suicide, but their attempts is not really what it is as far as extreme as it is for a man. But now, the reason why I'm saying this is because you have to look out for those signs. When that man starts getting quiet, whether it's your son, your brother, your cousin, your nephew, your uncle, look for the signs of him getting quiet and put himself in isolation, pulling away from everybody. That's a cry for help. But do we know what to do with a man that's crying out for help? We don't. Most of the time we don't. We sit down and say, oh, he'll be okay. He's just going through a phase. But have a conversation with him, ask questions. And if you can't get answers, find a man that you know that's strong, that can sit down and say, hey, I see what you're going through. I understand what you're going through. Because why? I need you to live, because you got purpose. Isolation is not purpose. Isolation is self-destruction. I'm destroying myself because now I don't want you around me. I'd rather be alone and think I'm enjoying life that way when I'm really in that sea drowning and trying to ask for a helping hand. But society has set it up that that's classified as a weak man. You ask them for help. You're supposed to be strong enough to be able to get through it. But how can I get through certain losses in my life if I don't have nobody to help me get through them? How can I survive in life if I don't have anybody to push me forward? Because a lot of times we'll help you get to lower bar. We'll help you get to that place of isolation. We'll help you get to that place of loneliness, and we're okay with it. We're okay with it. Why? Because you're just a weak man, and society can't do nothing with you. There's not a purpose for you. But no, that's so wrong. That is so absolute wrong. We got to get out of the place of hiding. But here's what I love. If you look at 2 Samuel chapter 9, verse 1, what did King David say? Is there anybody left from the house of Saul that I can show them kindness? And he did it on behalf of Jonathan. Does that not sound odd that he didn't say, I'm going to do it on behalf of Saul? Why didn't he do it on behalf of King Saul? King Saul was his enemy. King Saul became his enemy. But down that bloodline somewhere, him and Jonathan became friends. Now, think about Mephiboshet. You're lame. I notice your lameness. I notice you're not able to walk right. I see you bent, twisted, and everything else. But what did David do? He was told that, yeah, there's somebody left. His name is Mephiboshet, and he's in Lodabar. King David went and sent for Mephiboshet. And do you know he was offended by that? He was trying to figure out what did he do wrong in order for the king to call for him. Men, when you're being called out to help you get out of what you're going through, don't think you did something wrong. Ooh, Jesus. Where's time going? Wow. But the thing about that is, he was called out of that place. Men, we're being called out of what we've been going through. Because, again, you had no father to give you structure and guidance. You had nobody to lead you. And today, hear me, you're being called out even now to people that's not trying to give you a hand out, but give you a hand up. So a handout means I'm going to give you what you need. But I'm really not giving you what you need. I'm giving you what's enough to keep you quiet and stuck in that place you're in. It's just like the old saying, if you can teach a man to fish, you can feed him for the rest of his life. Why? Because he knows how to go get what he wants. If you can help pull a man up out of his place of isolation and pick him up and call him out, you can help him be set free. Now watch this. Mephiboshet had lameness, but what did King David do? He called him to the table. Look at your tables. Can you see underneath your tables? Why can't you see underneath your tables? Because there's a cloth in front of it covering it. Now watch this. David covered Mephibosheth's lameness. He covered it. But now watch this. Does it mean that he was not lame? No. Everything that you're dealing with as men is not meant for everybody to know. God is calling us today to help you to cover your lameness. Am I telling you that what's wrong is not there? No, it's still there. But my job today is to help you understand that we're going to cover this thing up. Now, when I say cover it up, that means I'm going to give you a way to get out of it. I'm going to give you a way to get out of it. So you don't have to fix this thing by yourself. And what made everything so great with the way King David treated Mephiboshet is the same way we're going to treat you today. Everything that's lost, King David gave it back to Mephiboshet. He didn't do it on the behalf of his grandfather. He did it because of the friendship with his father. And God wants to give you back what you lost. But here's the thing, go back to your childhood and deal with the stuff that hurt you from childhood. Yeah. We sit back and we just sit on and say, oh, it's okay, that's the past. Let me tell you, and this is me, I learned last year, Me and my dad was at odds for years. We talked, but we were at odds for years. Do you know when I really became set free was he finally sat down last year and we had a conversation. He told me some stuff I didn't know. And I'll share a little with you. I was born December 24th, 1961. Well, guess what day his mother died on? She died on a Christmas Eve. That's when they buried her. So you see how that made him feel? That hurt on both ends. But we have to learn how to sit down and talk about it. Because the way to become set free is to open up your mouth and talk. A silent mouth is not fed. When you don't ask questions, you're not fed. You're not set free. But here's the great part about David and Mephiboshet. Once he was restored back to everything that was given back to him, he was still invited to the table every day to sit down and eat dinner with the king. You're being invited to sit down with the king and have dinner with the king. You're being invited now to know that mentally free is here to help keep you free. This is not a one day where we talk to you about freedom and let you go back to where you went from there. This is the start of a process that when you take this information, you stay in contact with people you need to stay in contact with. It's to help keep you free. But Mephiboshet never had to worry about eating anything ever again for the rest of his life because why? Dinner served. And I'm saying to you guys today, dinner served. Come and dine. The table's open for you to get the information that you need and to be set free. But again, you have to really go back and start dealing with the issues of your childhood to now. But I don't want to go back and look at it. But a lot of your lameness started from your childhood. You got to think about it. Yes, dad was in the house, but did dad get to spend time with me? No, I felt alone. So, and today's children, you know they isolated because where's most places they go at? And they happy when you tell them to go to their room. Because everything that you put them in isolation, but they got all the gadgets that's going to keep them going. Guess what? I'm done. I'm done. I just want you guys to hear it. You're here to push you forward and not hold you back. The umbilical cord of life that's been holding you back, of being afraid to breathe and move on your own, is cut. So that's my time.
Thank you. Let's switch mics here.